Hello, I'm Grace and welcome to the Cornellian podcast. Today we'll be talking with two students about their perspectives on COVID on campus. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Sarah Decker. I'm a freshman.
I'm Laura McLeese. I'm also a freshman.
So both of you have had COVID this year, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
When did you get COVID?
I had COVID towards the end of winter break, and so I stayed home most of Block 5.
I just had it this week.
How fun. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good now, just tired, but I had some pretty bad symptoms.
And are both of you vaccinated?
Yes.
Yep.
So what happened? Like, what was the campus's reaction when you got COVID?
Well, I got it when I was home, so the campus reaction didn't super come into play. I was lucky that my 5th block was already online because that meant I could just stay home. I didn't need to really worry about what the campus reaction would be, but it did kind of stick out to me that was just kind of a stroke of luck that my teacher happened to move class online, and that if she hadn't, then I would have been kind of out of luck.
And then I pretty much just went in to go get tested, and they just came back in and were like, you just tested positive, sent me back to my dorm and had me like pack up all my things and move to the COVID house. And I was supposed to stay here for 5 days, and then if I didn't have any more symptoms, I'm allowed to go back to my dorm, but I have to stay masked and like pick up meals and everything.
And where is the COVID house?
It's the Pelican House. I can tell you the address, but I'm not gonna lie, I was having a pretty high fever when they drove me over here, so I was not paying much attention where I am.
Oh no, you're all good.
It's right off of campus, I think, like down a street by one of the res halls.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. And do you think that you, like the whole process of being moved into the COVID house and your experience there, what would you think that would? Talk about it.
It's been pretty nice here, actually. No one else is in the house right now, so I've just been kind of here alone. They drop off meals for you every day, which is really nice. And if you order by like a certain time, like 9:30 a.m. for lunch, you can ask them for like specific things. Or if you don't order, they'll just bring you whatever they think is healthiest. When they moved me in here, they just had Campo come and like drive me over. And yeah, it felt like they're very clear on directions, and everyone was pretty nice about it. So yeah. And the actual like house here is like, it's definitely nicer than Pfeiffer. That might just be because no one else is here, but like there's like 2 kitchens, there's a bath with like jets in the tub. It's crazy.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah.
And so what do you think of the COVID policies on campus? And especially since they recently sent out an email about a change in policy. Do you think that it should be stricter? Do you think that it should lessen? What are your opinions on it?
Well, I guess before I kind of like get into it, to put like all my cards on the table. Pretty early on in the pandemic, my grandfather died of COVID. So I've always been, like, me and my family have always been a lot more vigilant, I guess, about COVID than a lot of other people have, I know. So I guess I'm biased in that way, but at the same time, I'm biased to be very safe in a pandemic because I know, like, we all are cognizant of the fact that people are dying from this. People are suffering because of the pandemic. People are losing their jobs. People are getting sick. I mean, even if you don't die or have horrible, like, long withstanding effects, it's not fun to be sick. And like it's just I don't like the amount of communication from Cornell. I wish there were more, and I wish we knew more clearly what their intentions are, I guess, in regarding the pandemic. And then I also do wish the policies were more strict. I just do. I think I'm again very aware of how hyper vigilant that it may be, like even too cautious that I can be about this. But I also think if everybody was as cautious as I was, this pandemic would be over. And wouldn't that be great? So why can't we implement more like caution into our lives, you know? So I guess that's just where I'm at.
Yeah, and I'd say I'm on a pretty similar page. I think they shouldn't be like changing it right now. I don't see why they feel the need to. I mean, like, it's not hard to put a mask on in like all spaces when you're in public. Like, that just, it feels like so easy. And even if COVID cases are going down, they're not gone. Like, I just got COVID. So it's like, I think it's kind of a dumb idea.
Yeah, and I personally agree with both of you.
Yeah.
And
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was also just going to say it feels especially insane to the change in the masking policy is effective Wednesday, March 2nd at 3 p.m. That includes like when we get back from spring break, which is just seems insane to me. Like the fact that you would lift, I'm going home for spring break. I'm going to Chicago, which is a city with 3 million people. I've had COVID within the last 90 days. So it's very unlikely for me to get COVID, but there are a lot of people who are going on planes and who are going on to these packed cities and they might get COVID and like bring it back here. So to have the mask policy end or be amended like immediately after everybody leaves, goes wherever and does whatever, and then comes back, that seems just kind of insane to me. I keep it for the first week of the 7th block. I'm not saying we can never hit a point where we have a looser mask policy, but like right now, that feels just illogical, really.
I wholeheartedly agree, especially with spring break being such a popular time to go on vacation and to go different places. And a lot of places are, going to be heavily packed with other people who are on vacation who probably aren't, going to school in Lynn County in Iowa, and that's kind of what part of what Cornell is basing their decision on is the fact that cases in the surrounding area are, going down. That doesn't apply to everywhere in the country and even outside the country.
Yeah, no, I completely agree that like and I also cases are going down, which is like everywhere, which is good, but they also hit an all-time peak. So what does cases are going down really mean? Like, is it the amount of cases that there would need to be for me to feel 100% comfortable about taking my mask off in a indoor setting would be like where cases were this summer, and we are not there. We are nowhere near there, and it's frustrating that we're not there. And I don't want to sit here and say like that the pandemic isn't frustrating and that it's not draining to constantly remember to wear a mask and to constantly, be vigilant about this. There have been a lot of things that I've passed up over the past 2 years that I really regret because I wish I could do this cool thing, but I didn't because I want to be safe and I want the people around me to be safe. And that sucks, but it is how we get to a place where that's not the case anymore. We can't just live in this in between, straddling cases being where they are and then the hope of a world without COVID. Those two things can't really exist at once, and it's frustrating that the messages that we get from administration kind of feel like that's what they're trying to do and like are selling it to us. Like, isn't this a great new thing that we've done? And I don't know. It's just it's frustrating to see.
Very much so. Do either of you have anything else you would like to say in regards to this?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like I've kind of said everything I need to say. I wish testing was more efficient, but I don't know. That's just kind of a shoe-in.
Yeah. So thank you both so much for joining me. If you want to listen to more episodes of our podcast, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. Also, don't forget to check us out on our website, blogs.cornellcollege.edu/Cornellian. Have a good day and stay safe out there.